Here's a fun fact. In 2010, I started Happy English. In 2010. That sounds pretty accurate, right? And saying the date or the year is certainly correct, but that's not always how native speakers talk. In everyday conversation, we're often much more casual and even imprecise when we talk about the past. And that's what I want to introduce to you today. Some very informal ways native speakers talk about the past casually in English.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. And this is Happy English Podcast, episode 978, Casually Talking About the Past in English. If you want to sound more informal and natural when you talk about the past, you're in the right place. We're going to look at 6 commonly used casual phrases that you can use to talk about the past, starting with back then. We use the phrase back then when we're comparing the past to the present. Like if you're talking about technology with a friend and how different things are now, you can say things like, back then, the only thing we could do with a phone was make a call. Or if you're comparing the weather nowadays to the past, you might say something like, back then, we had a lot more snow in the winter. Back then doesn't mean a specific date or year. Back then just means that period in the past based on the context of the conversation. In casual conversation, it's not always necessary to speak so precisely about time as long as the context is understood. A similar phrase is back in the day. Back in the day has the nuance of when I was young, and so it often sounds more nostalgic or emotional. Like, I remember back in the day when I wanted to listen to new music, I used to go to the music store to buy record albums. By the way, if you don't know what a music store or a record album is, welcome to my generation gap. And you know what? Back in the day, once we got the record home, we would spend hours looking at the artwork and reading all of the lyrics and the liner notes. Yeah, records came with a lot of reading material back in the day. You'll often hear back in the day when people are remembering the good old days, or when they're comparing how things used to be with how things are now. Here too, back in the day doesn't mean one exact time. It just means some particular earlier period in my life. Now, let's look at the phrase at the time. We use at the time when we're talking about how things felt or what you thought during a past situation. Like, I started this podcast in 2014. At the time, I had no idea that I'd be doing this for over 10 years. Wow, time flies. I just had a blog to teach English at the time, so I thought putting my voice out there might be a good way to help people learn English. And that's interesting because at the time, podcasts were just voice, and now they've become videos too. We often use at the time when looking back and reflecting, especially when our opinion or the situation has changed. The next one is a long time ago. A long time ago is very flexible and common when talking about something that happened in the past, and it feels like way in the past. Like, I learned how to drive a long time ago, or I started playing the guitar a long time ago. It could be 5 years ago, 20 years ago. The exact time doesn't matter. In casual conversation, it's not always important to be precise about time. And that brings us to the next part of this English lesson. Let's move on to more casual and slightly exaggerated expressions. English speakers, and in particular in American English, we love to use exaggeration. It makes stories more fun and natural. Like, when the train is very crowded, someone might say, "Oh man, there were 1 million people on the train this morning." Or, when talking about a hot day, "Oh my gosh, it's 1,000 degrees outside." This kind of colorful exaggeration also makes its way into conversations about time, like the phrase ages ago. Technically, an age means a particular time period in history, like the Ice Age or the Age of Dinosaurs. In casual conversation, the phrase ages ago means a long time ago, but it sounds casual and friendly. Like my friend David. I met him ages ago, back when we worked together at a language school in Japan. By the way, if you studied English at GEOS in Sendai ages ago and remember me and David from then, let me know. Ages ago. It's not literally a historical period. It just feels like it was some time in the past, far away from now. The last phrase for today is 1 million years ago. If you hear someone say that something happened 1 million years ago and that person is not talking about dinosaurs, it's a casual and fun way to mean this happened such a long time ago that it feels like 1 million years ago. This is pure exaggeration, and we use it for what I call comical emphasis. Like the other day, one of my friends asked me about the original Star Wars movie, and I was like, wow, I saw that movie 1 million years ago. Or I asked one of my students when she started studying English, and she said, "Oh my, that was like 1 million years ago." No one thinks you really mean 1 million years. It just means so long ago that it feels distant now. And yes, Americans use this kind of exaggeration all the time in casual conversation. So, there you have it. Sometimes you need to precisely say when something happened, like I started teaching English in 1994. But in everyday casual conversation, it's perfectly fine to talk about the past using the phrases from this lesson, especially when something happened in the past and it feels like that was 1 million years ago. Storytelling and reminiscing about the past can happen in a colorful, casual way like this. And keep in mind, the best way to remember English like this and any other word or phrase in English is to take that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. Hey, thanks for listening. And remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible. And I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.